we're building up the side sash passive panel. First thing we want to do is check our measurements for the sash. So panel width, 84 1/4, panel height, 86 5/8. So we're going to go off our farthest point. This is 86 5/8 light, 6 9/16. We're about a 16th short. The good thing about that is that when we stick it all together, it's going to even out the size. After checking your measurements, it's good to mark out your tops and bottoms. So put a T for top, E for bottom. This gets rid of the confusion of mixing up your parts since they're only 2 inches in difference in size. Next step is filling the foam. This for the Omni corners. So when putting the block in, there's a longer side and a shorter side. We're going to use the shorter side for top and bottom, longer side for the sides. So what I do at the corners is slide one in. Adrian will slide his foam in from the other side. So slide it in until your foam touches the other corner. When you slide your corner in, this is the back side. There. So on this piece, we can mark on our back side and make a mark there. I'm going to take my measurement, 4 inches. I'm going to measure back 4 inches there. I'm going to take about a 1/4 inch extra off, just so I know I have enough room. We can film that later. Slide that in, making sure that this block is touching there, and also on the other side it's not pushed out. And then we'll repeat that step. After foam has been inserted, we're going to tape off our corners. We want it back from the edge about 30 seconds. That way the tape doesn't fall in the joint. So after this, we'll caulk this. This is protecting the paint from the caulking.
We're just going to put caulking along these edges on the outside, including the top and bottom and the 2 sides. So we don't tape up here because once we put the glass in, that's going to get covered anyway. So I'd say the thinner the tip, the easier this is to actually do, because the less of a mess you get, but you do want a nice cloth so when you push it together, you get a bit of squeeze out that you'll just wipe off later on.
Okay, so we only need to foam one side since we tightened up the foam filler right to the block on the other side. But because we cut the foam about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch shorter than the block, it's important to fill it with some spray foam. Doesn't need to be a lot. You don't want your block to push out of your. So we're gonna put the blocks. 4 blocks on the bottom and top to make it easy to slide in. So we're going to use 3/4 inch panhead screws for the corners. Basically my guideline is this corner right here. We're going to put this screw in on a slight angle, about halfway in. Same with this screw, halfway in. Now I can see which way this wants to pull. So this side's sitting out just a little bit farther. I'm going to screw this side in first. I'm just going to snug it up. It doesn't need to be tight. So what we're going to check here is my measurement across. I'm not going to put my tape measure in caulking because I don't need it to be a mess. 84 1/4 right on. Take a quick measurement of my height. 86 and 5/8 right on. The reason why you want to measure every time is this is the best time to readjust, not when the silicone is dry.
Once you have it in, it'll just stay in there till the caulking's dry, then you can take it out.
Next step, don't get silicone on the paint. Try not to. So we're going to wipe the silicone out before it dries. I'm going to take my rag, put slight pressure on it, but not dig into it, because you still want silicone to be in that joint. You want it to be enough out so it's nice and clean. Okay, this side's lower, this side. There's this. Pushing down on one side, level it all out. So when I did that, I pulled a little bit of silicone out, so I'm just wiping some of this off and filling that groove again. Very important there's silicone in there, since this can be a major leaking point. Adrian will go around and peel off the tape. This is where your glass sits in. This caulking here spews out. What you don't want to do is wipe this everywhere. I would suggest just leaving that for the reason that when you go and tape this, the tape will not stick to any silicone residue. So that saves a big mess later on. So just leave that there and wipe the top. So what I'm showing you here is the setup for an active lift and slide panel. Basically, the setup is the most important part. So what we did is we marked our bottom, our interlock side, our handle side on all the frames. Same with the handle side. I marked in the middle, marked bottom, marked top. Makes it a lot easier to put it together. So I got my blocks set up. So these are always the same measurement because it's always going off the bottom of your frame. It doesn't matter how tall it gets, these will always be the same. 19 and a half, 9 3/4, 9 inch, and 9 3/4. That'll fit your locking mechanism right in there. We'll need to fill it same way as before. I'm gonna take my blocks, slide my wood block in first. So the next difference with the filling for the active frame is the bottom. We have to put rollers on the bottom active panel. So we're going to use these 3D blocks for those to screw into. So these are all marked out. These are jigs for your roller blocks. So this is for the interlock side. Make sure it's down and tight. There's also one for the handle side, specifically for the handle side. One other thing to notice on the active panels is that the bottom and top have grooves in them, what those grooves are for is for weather stripping. And next we'll slide these in. So We'll slide one side in first. And I'm just gonna watch for when they pass through by the holes. Okay. And I'm just gonna put one screw it. What that does is holds everything. Now those blocks won't slide out on me. I'm gonna take a measurement of my corner and my block together, which is about 7 inches there. And I pushed it too far. So if you push it too far, all you need to do is angle that back a little bit. You're bound to catch it there. You just screw that in, that holds that tight. These blocks sit back closer to the corner a little bit more, so I'm going to have to trim this up a little bit. I'm going to take a measurement, butt it up against the block, and I'm going to go to this edge here, about 3 9/16. Measure on here. Over 3. I'm going to take about a 1/4 inch off of that. So we'll go 3 3/8. Bandsaw or the chop saw. If you're not comfortable with the chop saw, I suggest the bandsaw. And we'll repeat that on this side. And that is how that is filled. Pretty much the rest of the instructions are the same. With the corners and stuff. So this is the sill cutting for the lifting side. We need to make room for this cap to sit on here. As you can see, it's not sitting on there very nice, so we need to cut this off here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the one edge that's going to hit so it doesn't scratch the sill. I already put the metal blade in and put it on a 45-degree angle. Flip this upside down. So basically you just set it perfect the first time and then you cut it. But if to find the right measurement, you're basically just going to build it up. Keep moving your fence until you get the right. You want to leave it with an edge like so. So we can install that. It just sits on there nicely. Okay, this is extending the lift inside sill. So first I'm going to pull my sill apart. When extending the sill, you want to look at your sill, make sure there's no defects. On here, there's a little dot, we want to cut that out. You have this for the extension, that has lots of length to be added. Next I'm going to put a straight cut on the other side. I'm going to for the straight cut on the extension part too. Same thing with the base of the sill is kind of flush on both sides, so a nice tight cut. And because of the length of the sill, I'm just going to slide it down to the other side. So the important thing is to look at which side your active panel and passive panel are on. We don't want the joint to be underneath the active panel, as there will be lots of stepping over the sill there and could split open the joint. So we're going to put it on the left side of the sill. I'm gluing the base of the sill together. You want your joint opposite to your passive panel. Now we will take the sill. Now I'm going to smack it in. Now it's alright if this isn't quite flush or even, we're going to cut it off later anyways. Now we're going to take our extension piece. Put a piece of tape. This is where it becomes important that this cut is nice and straight. And to silk on this edge. I'm also going to run some silk on here just so that it keeps sliding. Press it nice and tight. And we're going to nail it. Before I knock it all the way in, I'm going to wipe the pocket off. Just to make sure that I got a nice tight flow. It